ever sense, beneath the friendly chatter of colleagues and the glossy invitations of entertainment, a soft whisper urging you to defer the work that would actually harden your spine? A whisper promising that another hour of scrolling, another round of pixels, another harmless detour through the fridge will cost nothing. And do you feel that same whisper grow bolder each time you yield, as though it feeds on your brief surrender, growing into a hush that blankets purpose itself? Do you ever glance in the mirror and notice how your shoulders have begun to stoop, not just from desk posture, but from the invisible weight of postponed ambition? And do you fear that if you looked closely, you might see, floating just behind your eyes, the boy you once were, still holding the controller of your decisions, even though his body has long since outgrown children's clothes? Have you caught yourself laughing at serious people who rise early, who read dense texts, who train under iron, telling yourself they are extreme, while a quieter self wonders if their extremity is simply adulthood practiced without apology? Niccolò Machiavelli would stand beside that mirror and inform you without sentiment that the state of your life is the principality you rule, and a prince who avoids hard reform because it feels uncomfortable will soon kneel to circumstances fashioned by men with sharper will. Friedrich Nietzsche would lean against the doorway and add that becoming who you are is not a slogan, but an ordeal. That identity is not discovered like a pebble on the path, but forged like steel in the furnace of voluntary struggle. They would agree on the verdict. As long as the boy in you governs your mornings, your evenings, and your discipline, you remain a vassal to comfort, capable of charm, jokes, and superficial flexibility, yet unfit for the siege engines of reality that test adults. Ask yourself how many minutes, stacked end to end, you dedicate each week to hollow pleasures you would not boast about on your deathbed, and compare that number to the minutes invested in learning a skill that compounds, sculpting a body that resists decay, or building an income engine no single boss can unplug. The ratio is your true creed, no matter what slogans fill your social feeds. The man-child rationalizes the imbalance by citing stress and the need to relax. But Machiavelli recorded in exile that idleness felt like death, and Nietzsche, writing through migraines, insisted relaxation should serve recuperation for higher exertion, never as the main plot. Do you believe destiny cares whether you meant to improve someday? Destiny is an accountant. It records only actions executed, and the books close nightly. Each unchecked promise, start the side project, master the instrument, cut processed sugar, earns an entry in the liability column. The boy mutters that tomorrow will handle the debt. The adult reads the ledger and pays down something today, even if payment is only 10 push-ups, a single Spanish paragraph translated, a strict shut-off of screens after 10 p.m., because adults no interest accrues. Perhaps you comfort yourself that genius does not require rigor, that talent alone will rescue you. Machiavelli observed the downfall of gifted nobles who trusted bloodlines more than practice. Nietzsche mocked the cult of innate brilliance, declaring that most so-called prodigies were simply early starters who labored when others dallied. Talent without training is tinder without a spark, waiting to rot. Effort is the flint. Imagine two futures branching from tonight. In the first, you scroll until midnight, promise yourself you will make up for it by getting up early, then snooze 3 times, jolting awake just in time to sprint through hygiene and speed to work where you spend the morning clicking between emails and memes. Gym clothes remain in the car trunk, untouched. Fast food plugs the energy leak. Evening drifts into gaming, then insomniac guilt. That day repeats, lubricated by excuses, until 5 years skate by and your bank account, body composition, and resume differ only in minor decimals from today. In the second future, identical fork in the timeline, you recognize the downward tug of the phone, lock it in another room, read 10 pages of a demanding book, prep breakfast ingredients, set a 6 a.m. alarm, and place it 2 meters from the bed. You wake groggy yet committed, drink water, move under a barbell even though numbers are modest, shower feeling blood humming, and arrive at work with one silent victory already tallied. Colleagues chatter. You listen, but refrain from gossip. Lunch involves vegetables you diced last night. Afternoon slump visits, and you counter with a 5-minute walk instead of sugar. Evening, you design a landing page for your freelance idea. The result feels small tonight, yet compound interest begins immediately. Stack 300 such days in 5 years, usher in stronger tendons, deeper knowledge, a side income that dwarfs the main salary, and a calm aura. Which future answers the door when crisis knocks? A broken economy, a sudden loss, a relationship storm. The adult version. The boy would hide. But I need entertainment, says the inner child. Fine. Schedule it like dessert. 1 hour earned after 2 hours of deliberate labor. Machiavelli counseled princes to offer festivals after victories, not instead of them. Nietzsche enjoyed music fiercely, but only after his daily quota of walking and writing. Entertainment then perfumes discipline, rather than swallowing it. The next resistance arises. What if I fail even after effort? Failure is the crucible. A failed lift teaches leverage. A botched sales pitch forces clarity. The boy treats embarrassment as mortal danger. The adult treats it as tuition. Machiavelli's reputation for cold strategy masks the deeper truth. He believed miscalculation could be redeemed by swift adaptation. Nietzsche mirrored the belief when he wrote that obstacles are invitations to strength. Without missing lifts, your muscles remain decorative. Without rejection, emails your craft remains fantasy. Consider your peer circle. Do they joke about hustle but schedule none? Do they sabotage dietary discipline with midnight pizza packs? Their influence is an invisible thermostat. Humans acclimate to median ambition. To rise, you must shift the median. That means auditioning new allies, lifters who track macros, coders who push commits at dawn, carpenters who critique your shaky dovetails. You fear they will expose your amateur status. That sting is precisely the antiseptic needed to clean wounds of self-deception. Machiavelli chose correspondence with mercenary captains to sharpen his war theories. Nietzsche exchanged letters with composers and scientists. Borrow their nerve. Now address body stewardship. The man-child treats fitness as optional, a seasonal sprint to offset vanity spikes. The adult treats fitness as everyday armor. A strong posterior chain supports decades of sitting. Healthy cardiovascular numbers buy clarity. Resilient joints reassure during play with future children. Begin with basics. Compound lifts thrice weekly. Walks after meals. Protein above fad chatter. Skip trendy supplements until discipline cements. Machiavelli emphasized fortifying city walls before Baroque palaces. Your skeletal walls deserve priority. Address money. The boy spends first, saves maybe. Grown men invert, automate transfers to investment accounts on payday. Track where dollars leak. Cancel microtransactions that deliver fleeting bliss yet erode margin. Loot boxes, cocktails, express shipping on trinkets. Channel freed cash into books, courses, equipment. When layoffs loom, emergency fund buys negotiation time. Machiavelli noted that mercenaries desert when payroll lapses. Your ambitions will desert if liquidity dries. Address time. Use a calendar like a shield. Block arts practice, language drills, marketing research. Defend each block. People will test the gate. Tell them kindly it is locked. Machiavelli wrote that wise rulers keep audiences scarce so that petitions shrink. Nietzsche would call the refusal saying yes to myself. Address environment. Place guitar on stand center room. Console cables boxed. Fridge preloaded with ingredients, not indulgences. Bedroom dark and chilled for sleep. Desk bare but for project notes. The boy wonders why life suddenly feels austere. The adult senses creative oxygen. What about romance? The boy chases novelty, fearing solitude. The adult cultivates solitude until partnership adds synergy, not escape. When dating, disclose ambitions early. If she calls them obsessive, part ways. Machiavelli would reject alliances that dilute strategy. Nietzsche cautioned that marriage can become a long conversation. Ensure both have something worth saying beyond love of comfort. Expect boredom. Effort repeated daily loses cinematic glow. That is the chisel scraping marble. Live with the monotony. Schedule quarterly novelty bursts. Travel to test languages learned. Spartan race to test fitness. Open mic to test speech. These events are practical exams, not diversions. Pass or fail, lessons recalibrate training cycle. Now, confront relapse. The boy will see sickness, heartbreak, or holiday as pretext to reclaim throne. He whispers, 1 week off became 2, might as well quit. Replay Machiavelli. Citizens forgive taxes, but not weakness. Your internal citizens, habits, punish abdication. Resume on scaled down difficulty, same day the streak breaks. Nietzsche said, what falls, we should also push. Push the boy back down. Yearly assessment. Sit alone, phone off, list accomplishments, failures, lessons. Burn the failures metaphorically by extracting procedures to prevent recurrence. Celebrate wins by articulating next stretch goal, not by lounging indefinitely. Machiavelli believed fortunes fluctuate. Nietzsche argued cyclical recurrence. Use both. Plan for downturns. Prepare to relive today with pride. Picture decade horizon. The adult version of you stands under heavier barbell, addresses larger audiences, commands diversified income. His gaze is steady because he has rehearsed crisis in cold showers, under loaded carries, inside pages of difficult prose. He mentors nephews who risk slipping into man-child loops, not by preaching, but by example that radiates possibility. If tragedy strikes, accident, market crash, he bleeds yet does not break. Machiavelli would claim his virtue shields the realm. Nietzsche would salute the will made manifest. Return to this moment, these final sentences. The cursor still blinks. Decision window still open. The boy inside pleads for browser tabs of trivia, chips within arm's reach. The adult hears him, yet tightens grip on the reins. The phone can wait behind do not disturb. A kettlebell waits beside the desk. A blank document waits for 2 paragraphs. Dinner ingredients wait to prove stewardship over body. Schedule alarms. Close this window. Act. Because every minute you remain merely inspired without motion, the boy gains ground. And every deliberate stride you take now, push-ups, budget review, foreign vocabulary flashcards, drives him deeper into the past tense where he belongs. Let Machiavelli remind you, unarmed prophets fail. Arm yourself with routines. Let Nietzsche remind you, he who has a why can bear almost any how. Write your why onto the next breath, then bear the how until it bends, then bear the next how, and the next, until effort becomes identity, until shedding skin becomes seasonal, until the word man-child stings no part of your conscience, because the boy is gone and only becoming remains.